So I just want to talk about this. This is a message to the Latinos, not all, but the ones who believe that a lot of black people are who claim indigenous to the Americas are Petunians. And you don't have to believe in that, but I feel like the perspective you're coming from is that black people are ashamed of our blackness. And the thing is, black people have embraced it, their genetics. When you see people like Michael Jordan, when you see how well we dominate in sports, when you see how well we dominate in fighting, when you see how well we age when we take care of ourselves, we don't have a problem with our genetics, right? And most American black people, if you ask them, hey, if you had the chance, would you be another race? Most of them, 99% of them would still be black. We had a whole black pride movement in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, right? So we're not like the Afro Latinos. We're not like the Afro Dominicans where they hate their skin, right? We're not even like people on the continent where they bleach their skin. Now, we have colorism issues, but in terms of black people as a group here in America, we have the most love for ourselves. But the issue is we're trying to get to the truth, right, based off what's evident. Now, I'm not going to make a conclusion on any side, but I want to ask you, right, if I show you images, right, with the actual names based off Google searches of different continents that have indigenous people with what we will call black features or Negroid features, right? Three races of people: Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid. Why would it be far-fetched for people to have looked like those people to have existed in South or North America? That's the only thing, because it's evident that if you see these people, you will know that they are not African, or at least they are not recent migrants of Africa, right? Maybe thousands of years ago, but that's it. But everybody with black or what I want to say Negro features is not African or West African, right? We all came from Africa at some point, but they're not African in the sense that like they just came over there, right? And that's what people have to understand, right? So I'm gonna show you some people, right? When you look at the native Filipinos, take a look at them. Look how they look. The native Filipinos, right? And you notice I left the actual search, the image of the actual name and search, right, in the bar, so you can see, right? So you can see that I'm not just making this stuff up. So you can do the same search, right, in the search bar and see and find the same results, right? This is how the native Filipinos look, right? Then when you look at the Solomon Islands, right, those are people with Negroid features. A lot of them have blonde hair. You see that, right? If you go to Solomon Islands, that's what the people look like, right? They're not African, right? As a matter of fact, when they were on that land, Africa didn't exist. Africa is something that was made up by people who colonized that place, right? You need to understand that, right? Now, let's go to Papua New Guinea. They look just like the people of the Solomon Islands. Negroid features, same thing. Now, do they look like they from West Africa? No, but still Negroid. Now, I'm going to show you the native Fiji people. Now, some of them look like, regular Polynesians, but then you have a lot that also look like black people, Negroid, right? And when I talk to Fijian people, they trace their history back to Egypt over thousands of years ago, though. So this lets you know that people were able to sell, or maybe at one point, all the continents were one and you could just walk over there or something. It had to be something going on, right? But that's what the people in Fiji look like. These are indigenous people, right? And then if you look at the Andaman Island people, they look even more what you would call black, right, on that island. And so these are native people to the land, completely disconnected from Africa and West Africa. All right.